Hello everyone and welcome back to another Koala coding session. In this video we will try and find out what is the elusive Unity unit. What is a Unity unit? A lot of people who just start out with Unity and have no game development background or 3D modeling background ask themselves, what is a Unity unit? Is it a 1 meter measurement? Is it the 1 centimeter measurement? And if you actually search around on the web, you'll find all kind of conflicting answers, right? Some places will tell you it's 1 meter, some people will tell you it's 1 centimeter. Is it a decimeter? Who knows? So we will try and find that out in this video. Also, we will take a look at what is a pixels per unit of a sprite, and we'll try to find out what that means. So first of all, what is a Unity unit actually in a measurement? So just like I told you, if you actually search around the web, you'll find all kind of conflicting results. As far as I could have deciphered from the Unity documentations and forums and discussions, nobody really knows, but it does seem that the Unity unit was supposed to be at least 1 meter length, right? But it doesn't really matter. Honestly, you shouldn't really care about it, especially if you're working on a 2D game, which this channel is, at least as of right now, is focusing on. So I can only guess that you're watching because you're making a 2D game. You shouldn't really care about it, right? You're not working with 3D model, and let's be honest, 2D models, 2D sprites are never that accurate, right? You can have a sprite which is a human, and then a sprite which is like a barrel just next to it, and they are almost exactly the same, but in real life that barrel would be like the third of the size of the human, right? So it doesn't really matter, and you should choose for yourself what a Unity unit should be for you, right? In my game, in our game, Red Rook, shameless plug here, go to our Twitter account and see what we do. But in our game, we actually just decided that one Unity unit, or more likely 128 pixels, are just 1 meter, right? So that's what we've decided. We decided that a Unity unit is 128 pixels, and that those 128 pixels are 1 meter. At least that's what we decided for now. We might change it in the future for something that we feel more comfortable with. But again, you should just choose whatever you want to choose, right? So what is the actual pixels per unit? What does that mean then? Well, let's take a look. So for the purpose of this video, I've gone ahead and created three new pictures here, three identical pictures of black square here, and they're all different sizes. Like so this one is 16 over 16 pixels, this one is 32 over 32 pixels, and this one is 64 over 64 pixels, right? So great. Let's actually go ahead and take a look at them, right? So I'll click on the 16 here, and I'll put it right over here, and I'll click on the 32 here, and I'll move it over here, and I'll take the 64 here, and I'll put it over here, so we'll have something to look at, right? So this one, for some reason, I played around with its color earlier, so let's that. All right, great. So you might look at this and tell yourself, David, what the hell, man? Didn't you just say that these three are different sizes? Why are they the same size? Why are they exactly the same size? Well, you'll be in the right to ask me. And so let's see. How exactly are they the same size? If this is 16 over 16, right, like I said, so it should be 256 pixels. This is 32 over 32 and so forth, like 500 something something and 2000 something something, right? So if they have varying amounts of pixels, how are they the same size? Well, this is where this magical property right here called pixels per unit comes along. So when you tell Unity a number here, you actually tell them for this specific sprite that I'm choosing right now, so for this 16 sprite here, use exactly 16 pixels per Unity unit to draw this sprite, right? So whatever the Unity unit is, whatever measurement it is, it doesn't really matter to you. All you need to know is that Unity will use exactly 16 pixels per unit, right? So if you go really deep, you might find a small enough unit that will just have I don't know, 16 pixels over it, right? I don't know if it's even possible to actually go ahead deep enough and see it, but probably you will find maybe it's actually this one, I don't know, but you will find a unit small enough so that you will see only 16 pixels drawn over it, right? So that's that. Again, let's take about this one. So this one I told them, hey, here, hey, Unity, I want you to draw this one, this 32 sprite, with 32 pixels for each unit, right? And this one over here with 64 pixels per unit. So if you actually think about it for a second, if these three are varied in size with exactly 16, 32, and 64, but we're telling Unity, hey Unity, for each one of your units, use exactly X pixels, like 16, 32, and 64 pixels to draw on each unit of your, well-being, of your unifying unity, right? Just use that exact amount. Well, then they will all be the same size because they all distribute their pixels along the units of Unity according to their own size, right? But let's say let's say that all of the stuff in our game right now is exactly 64 pixels, right? Everything is 64 pixels. That's how things should be in our world. Like, this is the base size. So I will use all of my sprites. I will tell them, hey, spread around, draw yourself in Unity in exactly 64 pixels per unit. And I don't care if you have less. Draw yourself as if you have 64 pixels. So if I go ahead and go, let's start actually with the 32. So if I go to the 32 and I'll tell them, hey, I know you're currently drawing yourself 32 pixels per unit, but actually I want you to double that, right? So I want you to do that with a 64 pixels per unit, right? And then I click apply here, and it's much smaller. Actually, it's exactly a quarter smaller, right? Why a quarter? Because, well, these are a power of two numbers, so 32, 64, so that's exactly a quarter, right? And if I go to this 16 here, and I'll do the same, right? So 4, apply. So I have another new quarter, right? A quarter of a quarter, right? So that's that. And if I go the other way around, let's say that I want everything to be 16 pixels, right? Even if it has more pixels than that. Then again, this is this one. And then we'll tell this 32 pixels here. Okay, so go ahead and guess what will happen when we actually try and tell this 32 by 32 to draw itself only 16 pixels per unit. Well, go ahead and guess. This is your time. All right. Okay. If you've guessed it's gonna get really larger, then you're correct. And with this one as well. So 16. And why is it getting larger? Well, let's think about it for a second. Well, we have a lot of pixels here, right? We have a lot of pixels in the 64 over 64. 64 over 64 is I don't remember, something like 2000 something, right? So we have a lot of pixels here, but we're telling Unity, hey Unity, use only 16 pixels per unit. So Unity is gonna need a lot of units, right? It's gonna need a lot of units to encapsulate all of those 2000 something units, pixels, sorry. So it's gonna get a lot bigger, right? If I'm gonna tell Unity, hey Unity, use this 64 image and draw it using 64 pixels per unit, right? Then it will need a lot of less space, a lot of less room, right? So that's how it's gonna happen. So, well, that's pretty much it. Like, so let's see. I have this koala code here, this cute, amazing koala code, and I don't remember its size. It's something arbitrary, like, yeah. So 194 over 136, and I'm currently drawing it at 100 pixels per unit. If I will tell them, hey Unity, use less pixels per unit, it will need a lot more units, right? So if I tell them, hey Unity, use 16, right? We went over 16 right now, yeah. So hey Unity, go ahead and use 16 pixels per unit. It's gonna get huge, right? It's gonna be amazing. It's so big, so big now. So what is important to take away from this video is units don't really matter to you. especially if you're in a 2D game. Even if you're a 3D game, they don't matter that much. Maybe they shouldn't really matter to you at all. What does matter about units is consistency. You will need to be consistent, and you don't have to, like, you don't have every single spot in your game shouldn't it doesn't have to be the same pixels per unit, right? Maybe you want something to be a bit bigger than it should be, according to its actual, like, size, right? If you're using all kind of assets from different places, so you might be using some 16-bit assets and some 64 not bit, sorry, pixels assets, right? So you're using different sized assets, but you want to somehow compress them to the same size. So the 64 assets, you will use, let's say, 16, and the 16 you will actually use 64 or something like that. You will find your balance, you will find some way. But if all of your if you're like a team, or if you're even creating the game yourself but you're making all of your assets, then you should try and be consistent with your pixels per unit, because it will make your life a lot easier. Well, I think this is pretty much covers this this subject. I hope that it helped you, and I will see you in the next video. This video was very small, very look at this giant koala just nom 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 just walking around. So I will see you in the next video. This video was just a small, like, intermission to teach you all kind of small stuff about the game. I'm going to make a couple of these videos like this as a break from the main video series about top-down RPGs. So we're going to talk about, well, Unity units. We're going to talk about what is a time delta and why are we using it, and all kind of small stuff that people are just using without actually understanding why they work. And it will help you create better, more robust games. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like, subscribe, go to my Twitter, say hi, say hello, ask questions, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.